Hey everybody, it's so good to be back from vacation. Spent some much needed family time in Las Vegas, but now that I'm back, it's time to check in and see what I've missed. So this is it. This is the SEC's latest attack. The Securities and Exchange Commission has lashed out against the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance. They brought forward a lawsuit against Binance and its founder, Changpeng Zhao, alleging violations of federal securities laws. Also of note was the allegation that Changpeng used Binance and other financial firms to apparently commingle customer funds. Now, this is all in addition to the other lawsuit that Binance is currently facing, the one from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Now, full disclosure, I am not a Binance customer, I never have been, and while I do support the cryptocurrency cause, it is important to note that everything I am listing are just allegations and should not be taken as facts. As far as anyone in the crypto world should be concerned, it is that anything that the SEC says should also be taken with a huge grain of salt. That is because the SEC has proven to be a largely corrupt entity, hiding behind the guise of protecting investors, but in reality, they have their own agenda. Multiple times, they have issued lackluster guidance that only confuses crypto firms, and there have even been times where they even contradict themselves. In short, the SEC has instead become a bully, a watchdog that has become too powerful and seeks to kill cryptocurrencies. Chairman Gary Gensler himself stated that there is no more need for digital currencies and that we already have digital currency, namely the US dollar and other currencies like the euro and the yen. Now, if I was a conspiring man, I would venture to say that they will stop at nothing to ensure cryptocurrency adoption fails to happen. Social media is already rife with theories, and the mysterious deaths of many prominent figures in the crypto space certainly don't do anything to invalidate those theories. Now, I'm not saying that the SEC is deliberately ordering hits on crypto millionaires, but I would be lying if I didn't say that the deaths of these people didn't help further their agenda. Just over a week ago, Bitcoin millionaire Dr. John Forsyth was found dead with a gunshot wound. An emergency room doctor and early adopter of Bitcoin, he was also, not surprisingly, a very vocal critic of the US dollar. It's possible maybe he just made enemies with the wrong person. His car was found unlocked near the hospital he worked at, along with his wallet, passport, laptop, and work briefcase inside. The police did not suspect any foul play in his death. May he rest in peace. Now, if there ever was a malignant entity attempting to silence prominent figures in the cryptocurrency space, it should go without saying that crypto is not a movement that dies with any one person anyways. The ideals and utility of it will outlive any of us, so it would become impossible to end it by just murdering people. To be honest with you, even the US government isn't quite sure on what to do with cryptocurrency. You have politicians that love it and politicians that hate it, but in time we have to remain confident and hopeful that America will eventually get it right. Or else we'll risk falling behind on innovation and progress, thus losing our competitive edge on the global stage. As I've discussed in previous videos, other countries are taking steps to reduce their reliance on the US dollar and instead embracing cryptocurrencies. The good news is that we, the people, have the power to have our voices heard, and we can at least elect members who are supportive of cryptocurrencies. Now, in a future video, I will break down who all the pro-crypto politicians are, using Coinbase's tool. So the SEC coming after crypto exchanges is part of the plan to try to convince people that crypto is not better than the US dollar, despite the fact that the dollar is always decreasing in purchasing power with each year that goes by. In this most recent attack on Binance, the SEC also came out and accused an additional 10 cryptocurrencies of being securities. This caused further panic across the industry, as some of these coins are rather large players. They are Solana, Cardano, Polygon, Coti, Algorand, Filecoin, Cosmos, The Sandbox, Axie Infinity, and Decentraland. Full disclosure, out of this list, I currently own Cardano, Polygon, Coti, Cosmos, The Sandbox, and Decentraland. Rather discouraging to hear, but in the big picture of things, I won't panic sell merely because the SEC is targeting certain coins. We have no idea how this is going to play out, and like most investors who believe in the future of the industry, I am in it for the long haul. Like most seasoned crypto enthusiasts, I keep my coins off an exchange and in cold storage so I am protected should anything happen to an exchange. While the SEC aims to make cryptos less accessible to people, what they fail to realize is that they just might inadvertently cause the value to increase as it becomes harder for people to get their hands on it. Of course, there is also the chance that the value drops once SEC action is taken, which is the outcome that they are ultimately hoping for. Limiting trading means less people are able to buy or sell a coin, which could effectively lower the value and render it almost worthless. It is painfully evident that the SEC does not embrace change, they fear what they do not understand, and they are not trying to protect the American investor. But not only did the Securities and Exchange Commission go after Binance, they also went after Coinbase, issuing a lawsuit to them just one day later on Wednesday. Despite this, crypto holders saw a spike as prices trended up since the news about the Binance lawsuit broke. Seemingly unfazed by the bad news just only a day later, Bitcoin appeared to ignore the bad news and rose 5% in value, recovering from the loss a day prior. I mean, just look at that dip and swing back. This is what I love about the crypto community, namely the Bitcoin holders. No matter how bad it seems to get or how much pressure there is to sell, an overwhelming majority of us never do sell. We simply keep accumulating and tune out the noise. This is the resilient power of people who are standing up for what they believe in and what ultimately will reshape the financial structure of the world as they seek to invest in an asset that protects their wealth. Regardless, back to the lawsuit on Coinbase, the SEC alleges that Coinbase has been operating as an unregistered broker since 2019. Now, this is especially odd considering that the SEC themselves reviewed Coinbase and allowed them to become a public company in 2021. CEO Brian Armstrong of Coinbase remains firm and defiant in the face of the SEC, and his company has done a great job so far calling out the hypocrisy and unwarranted attacks. Of note within these allegations, in my video titled "The End for Staking," I mentioned how the SEC appears to take issue with crypto exchanges, but especially ones that offer staking services. They claim that staking is akin to entering an investment contract, thus proving the grounds that these coins are indeed a security and not a commodity. I've linked that video in the description below. Now, the whole irony about this crackdown from the SEC, with many dubbing it Operation Choke Point 2.0, is that politicians in Congress are working to provide the regulatory clarity that the SEC failed to give. Last Friday, Republicans drafted a bill that serves as the most significant federal legislation regarding cryptocurrencies to date. This bill outlines clear potential guidelines for how a cryptocurrency can be defined as a commodity. Also under the bill, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission would have oversight over all cryptos that are deemed commodities, and the Securities and Exchange Commission would oversee all cryptos that are deemed securities. Makes sense, doesn't it? Leave it to the SEC to operate in the opposite direction and instead start serving lawsuits to crypto exchanges. Well, that's all for this one, guys. I know it seems bleak in the current moment, but I'll continue to keep you guys updated on further developments. I'm not worried about Coinbase or Binance and remain unfazed by what the SEC's actions mean for my portfolio. While progress always seems to move painfully slow, I believe those of us who wait this out and keep holding on will be rewarded. I'll catch you on the next one. See you around.